Hi, and thank you for joining me. My name is Rob Scott, publisher at UC Today, and I'm really excited to present this year's UC Trends series. If you're a fan of UC Today, then you'll know that every October we run a special video series called UC Trends. In this insightful video series, I talk to senior executives from trailblazing vendors in UC, collaboration and CX, and discuss their perspective of the marketplace and what they predict will be the next year's game changers. We will also have some fun with them at the end of the main interview session with some quick-fire questions to reveal a bit more about their personality and what makes them tick. Stand by for UC Trends 2021. By now, your business is probably thinking of a cloud-delivered contact center. And if you're not, then stay tuned because you're about to be zapped into the future of customer experience. Artificial intelligence and machine learning is having a massive impact on customer engagement. So who better to speak to for our UC Trends 2021 series than none other than the contact center platform of the year winner, Talkdesk. Talkdesk continue to disrupt the marketplace with their CX cloud solution. In 2020, Talkdesk embarked on an ambitious product strategy, launching 20 cutting-edge products in 20 weeks. I'm delighted to welcome to the virtual studio Talkdesk's Chief Product Officer, CK Kannan. CK, thank you for joining me for UC Trends 2021. Great to see you. I'm really looking forward to hearing more about your year at Talkdesk and what's coming up for the marketplace. Plus, we're going to have some quick fire questions towards the end for a bit of fun too. So how about we get started with a bit of background. Tell me more about you, how you got into the CX space, please.
It was a very interesting story. So for the last about 10 years, about 70 to 80% of my time I've spent traveling. And my least favorite part about travel is calling the customer support rep of the airlines. Every time I call them, first, there's a reason why you call me CK. My first and last name is not easy to pronounce, right? So they have to ask my name. I have to repeat it. That entire experience was frustrating every single time. And I've thought about numerous times, what's the best way to fix this, right? Like the support calls have to be a lot more pleasant than it is today. So I thought a lot about that. Tiago was an old friend, so we talked about it. And I saw that Talkdesk was doing something very incredibly exciting to end bad customer service for the world. So I thought, why not? So here we are.
Fantastic. And the contact center or CX technology marketplace is booming now, isn't it? We've all moved. Certainly the appetite for cloud is certainly there now, and the market is flourishing. So I'm keen to kind of hear your perspective of kind of what makes a successful technology company like Talkdesk in today's world.
Yeah, I think many things, but the most important thing is cloud and the innovation and the agility that comes along with cloud. Contact center is one of the most established industries in the world, right? CRM, many companies moved to the cloud several years ago, but when it comes to contact center, about 85% of companies are still on premise today. So to move to the cloud is a journey for them, and I think Talkdesk came in the right time, right place with right technology. So starting in the cloud and the benefits that come along with the cloud, which is agility, innovation, and machine learning and artificial intelligence, everything adds on to it. But I think ultimately this industry needs to move to the cloud to take all of those benefits, especially in times like now where many of the agents are starting to work remotely. Cloud is just a huge benefiting factor for the industry.
That is an astonishing number, isn't it? 85% still not in the cloud. So, wind the clocks forward 12 months. Do you see that number changing significantly as a result of the pandemic?
I think so. It was, there were a few things going around on social media that said, what's the most important factor for, who's driving the cloud decision, right? Is it the CIO, CEO, or COVID? It's all of the above, but definitely I think this year, a lot of remote working and hybrid contact centers, it's here to stay. And I think this is going to accelerate cloud movement for sure. In addition to that, I think in the last few years, last even 12 to 18 months, the number of times we've had questions from our customers about, self-service, automation, AI, it's much, much more than 2 years ago. So I think as people are thinking about how to improve efficiency, how to increase speed, machine learning, which is much better on the cloud with all the data in one place, is going to be important. So hopefully next time we talk in a year and a half from now, it's not 85% in on premise, and it's a much lower number.
Yeah, absolutely. And cloud really just opens the door to all those advanced technologies, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So let's talk about Talkdesk. It's been another exciting year for Talkdesk. Congratulations for winning Contact Center Platform of the Year 2020 at UC Awards. Tell us about your year at Talkdesk. What have been the highlights for you so far?
Oh my gosh, where do I start? 2020 was such a thrilling year for Talkdesk in so many ways. I'll talk about my personal favorite, but there's just a lot more to it. So my personal favorite is the award from you and your team on UC today. But the most important thing is why we got that award, right? We got that award because of 20 product launches in 2020. Not something that many companies would easily take up, right? It's an exciting but crazy goal, but it was just a very exciting past few months at Talkdesk. We launched 20 new products in 2020. I think that was one of the defining moments. But in addition to that, there were just many other things this year. We got Series C funding. So, funding is always a nice way to validate your strategy, but also it always helps to have more money in the bank, right? So we got Series C funding and a huge valuation, which really validates our strategy, mission, and execution. So that's been very exciting. Second is that we got leader in Forrester Wave in 2020 and leader in Gartner in 2019. Both of them have been great. Forrester and Gartner have been great to work with. And I think going as a leader in both of these have been tremendously helpful for Talkdesk as well. We also got into Forbes Cloud 100. So yeah, the list is long, but it's been an exciting year, and definitely my personal favorite is 20 product launches in 2020, a crazy ambitious goal that a lot of companies wouldn't easily take up. But at Talkdesk, we are a little bit crazy, so why not? And we ended up doing it, and it's been a very successful year for us.
That's really great. That's an amazing achievement for Talkdesk, and hats off to everyone. In terms of kind of workplace trends, let's talk about trends for a moment, because it is the UC Trends series. Workplace trends, there's one big one this year that stands out: remote working, as a result of the pandemic. But what's really going to have the greatest impact on your marketplace and your company going forward?
Yeah, so I think it was interesting because we've been talking to I've been talking to at least 100 plus customers in the last 6 months to 8 months. And initially people thought that remote working is going to be a short-term thing, right? It's going to stand for maybe like 2 months, 3 months. And every month it's like, we're going to get better. We're going to go back to office. But right now it looks like slowly people are starting to get used to it and they're starting to love it. So remote contact centers and just our hybrid contact centers where you could support customers from your house or from anywhere or from office. So that's here to stay. It's not going. I think there's definitely a lot of benefits to that, right? So the hybrid contact center remote model is probably here to stay. So that I think will kind of define the trend for the next 1 or 2 years. But along with that comes multiple factors. First, how do you hire and onboard agents remotely? For us, hiring remotely, it's not easy, right? So how do you hire and onboard agents remotely? And all of the tools, the workforce engagement tools, and we earlier this year we launched CX Talent, which helps you hire talent from anywhere in the world. You could be a stay-at-home mom, but you could be supporting customers in the evening. So CX Talent, in terms of how it helps you hire agents remotely and also onboard them, it's an important factor. The second one that we hear a lot is security, right? So one day, just overnight, all the important customer data that was within office premises is now in laptops in thousands and millions of agents in their house. So how do you make sure that this data is secure? So the security that comes along with that. And then I think the third one that we hear a lot is self-service. How do you just help customers help themselves so they can move faster? So I think the three trends, all driven by remote contact center, that we hear quite often is agent, hiring, onboarding, coaching. Second one is security, and the third one is self-service for customers. And yeah, we're definitely looking into all of those. Once again, like with cloud platform, which is powered by machine learning, it's a lot more easier to help customers in these areas as well.
Thank you. And I'm interested to talk a little bit about video, actually, because video is really the new voice this year for everyone, isn't it? Everyone is now on video. We're doing it right now, from one side of the world to the other. Has video got a place in the contact center, do you think, going forward? Should we expect our customer interactions to change and shift to kind of a video first world?
So video is a really interesting question. We hear that a lot from some of the specific industries. As an example, if you go to healthcare, many of our customers, they love video, especially for telemedicine type use cases. People use video, so video is a key factor for healthcare. We hear the same thing from telco, especially for field service, right? You're showing an issue on your modem and you want to fix it. So for some industries, we hear that a lot more. In some, not so much. I remember having the funniest conversation with one of our customers in fitness industry who was saying, I would probably never do video because when my customer talks to me, I want them to perceive me as a six-pack fit person, right? Because they're talking about fitness and training for fitness, and probably video is not the best idea there. But again, it depends a lot on industries. But I think, especially in the last few months with remote working and people being more anxious, we do hear about video quite a lot in specific industries, healthcare and telco, namely.
CK, thank you for talking to me. You've shared some great insights. I really appreciate it. And now for some quickfire questions. Are you ready?
I am.
So my first question is, first job?
I was a marketing intern for a tennis championship.
That is a proper job. I like that. Favorite day of the week?
Wednesdays. No meeting Wednesdays. You can get so much work done, so Wednesdays.
No one else has said Wednesday, but that's a really good answer. What's the most inspirational book you've ever read and why?
A lot of books, but I think the one that I recently read just last week, which is fresh in my memory, is Ride of a Lifetime by Bob Iger, the CEO of Disney. It was fascinating to see everything that he has to think about every single day. Makes your job look so much easier. So Ride of a Lifetime. Check it out if you haven't.
Yeah, you just can't imagine what he went through building Disney, can you? But yeah, what an amazing book. What's the best advice you've ever been given?
This was when I was in high school, and back then when someone gave me an advice, I'd take it personally. So the best advice that person gave me was take a step back. When someone's giving you an advice, take a step back. Always think about it from a third person's perspective in terms of how you would have done things. So it helps you take the advice in a better way and not personally, and that helped a lot.
That is really great advice. If you could teleport anywhere in the world, where would you go?
One of my favorite places in the world is Iceland. It's bizarre because not many people say that, I know, but it's one of my favorite places. It's pure, it's beautiful, so I would probably go there for every summer weekend.
What a wonderful place. Would you rather be able to speak any language in the world or speak to animals?
Speak to animals. I have a dog and cat. I absolutely want to know what they have to say, so speak to animals.
I have dogs and cats too, and I'd love to be able to talk to them.
I don't know if they want to talk to us, whole different story, but yeah.
Yeah, could you imagine what they would say? Voice call or video call?
Video call.
Dawn or dusk?
Dusk, not a morning person.
And do you believe in fate?
I believe in right time, right place. A little bit of luck, a little bit of fate, but right time, right place, and then it's up to you to take it forward from there.
Indeed. What's worse, ironing or gardening?
Ironing.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. What's your most watched movie ever?
Not one of the common ones, but I love Freedom Riders. It's a fascinating movie, and I've watched it multiple times. Freedom Riders, check it out if you haven't. It's a pretty good one.
Sounds interesting. Describe yourself in 3 words.
Hardworking, for sure. And let me think about it. So hardworking, driven, a little bit impatient. I want things faster. I want things right now. So a bit impatient for sure.
If you were given an all expenses paid trip to the north of England, would you take it?
Absolutely. When can I get that? And if you added North Wales to that trip, I would absolutely love it. Spent a lot of time in London, lived there. My husband used to go to Manchester. We absolutely love north of England and Wales.
And that is the correct answer. Who is your greatest inspiration?
Indira Nooyi. So she is the ex-CEO of Pepsi. She's a huge inspiration because she grew up in the place where I grew up, and it was fascinating to see her going from there to becoming the CEO of Pepsi and building one of the most successful companies in the world. So huge inspiration. I hope to have a chance to meet her someday, but we'll see when that happens.
Yeah, very inspiring indeed. Type, touch, or speak?
Speak, for sure. I have a little bit of a fat finger, and I'm known for my typos at Talkdesk, so speak for sure, any day.
Elvis or the Beatles?
The Beatles.
If you could go back in time for a day, what date would you go back to and why?
So many. But I think this would probably be a personal one. So I'd go back in time when my mom was alive and spend a little bit more time with her. You never realize it until it's too late. So definitely spend more time with my mom in a past date.
Which new technology will transform the future?
I think my favorite is home automation. So I think, the time is the most precious thing in the world, right? If you had more time, you could do anything that you want. And I love that I never have to vacuum my house. It automatically does it every morning. I don't have to go and turn off lights or fan in the night. It automatically does it. So I love home automation because it's my least favorite job. And if that gets automated, I have more time to do the fun stuff.
Yeah, that is a really good answer. And finally, greatest achievement ever?
Yet to come. Definitely in the future, but it's yet to come.
CK, thank you for joining me for UC Trends 2021. It's been great to hear more about your year at Talkdesk, and I certainly wish you all the very best for 2021.
Thanks for having me. This was a lot of fun. It's amazing when you get rapid fire questions and you have to think about so many things that you never even imagined before. So it's a lot of fun. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you so much.